What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. When I look at some of the biracial people in the community, I have to be honest and say that a lot of the brothers and sisters tend to have somewhat of an identity problem. And when I'm talking about identity problem, I mean especially if they are white and black, and more particular, having a white mother. And sometimes they feel more close to the white, and then sometimes they feel more close to the black. And then I've also realized some mixed people who participate in anti-black rhetoric. And this is what Andrew Tate does, right? Andrew Tate and their following definitely lean more towards the European side of things, the way they look, the way they dressed, the way that they act, where they live. I believe they live in Romania. So you're already knowing what kind of guys they are. And if they were a little bit more, I would say more black acting, they wouldn't have that international fan base that they have now. It would still be big, but hey, it wouldn't be as big as this. And they know this. And they have to understand this, that having clout or having respect from Europeans or white people, it has helped them. That's why Andrew Tate is one of the few guys that, let's say, for example, if you're black and you're banned like him, you're not making any money anymore. Andrew Tate is banned and still makes so much money, most likely and primarily because of the white audience he has. And then he has a younger brother, Tristan Tate, who also engages in anti-black rhetoric and at the same time is offended when somebody else talks bad about black people, although he talks bad about black people himself and all they do is date white women and all of that. Well, then there is the Nick Fuentes crowd. And the Nick Fuentes crowd always talking bad about black people. Let me give you a few examples.
So now all these white kids look up to black men and they talk like black people. They talk like ghetto black people. And so now we have this generation of like wiggers, and I just absolutely hate that. You have all these white people smoking pot, smoking weed, they're wearing sweatpants, they talk like people. And when I hear that, it really pisses me off.
And then there's this one.
There was a Republican official in Michigan. He was out on a walk with his wife and his two kids. They were out for a stroll with their dogs on an afternoon, and a black man left his house and pointed a gun at the family because he claims one of the young girls was touching his mulch. And the black guy shot to death the father of these two girls in broad daylight. This happens all the time now. Everyone knows it. This happens all the time, and it's spreading out and it's getting worse, and no one is allowed to talk about it.
So you guys see that. Now, this is the same guy saying, hey, we need to stop being black and all of this, but these guys don't have any money, okay? They spend all their time hating on everybody, the Jews, the blacks, anybody they possibly can to hate on. And these are guys that, in my honest opinion, these guys usually are unsuccessful, all right? And I basically do that. Anybody's unsuccessful. This is why Mying Gaines put this up on his Twitter tweet. A crazy piece of showed up at Nick's front door again. This time they were armed and knew where Nick lived thanks to all the people that doxed him. This is where we are in America, where people will attempt to assassinate you for your political views. I'm happy is okay. He now has to hire 24/7 private security. If you support me, I'm asking you to please support my friend as well. Anything you can afford helps. Okay, so now they're begging for money for this same guy. Now these guys are called the Gper crew, all right? Now, these same white guys who dislike black people did something very interesting. They basically inboxed Tristan Tate. And so Tristan Tate was basically on X, and a guy goes, can you help with college? What does groip mean? This is what Tristan Tate goes. The guy goes, oh, F, you actually responded. Gper, Groyper. So if you look at Wikipedia's definition, who are these? Groupers, sometimes called the Gper Army, are a group of alt-right, white nationalist activists, provocateurs, and internet trolls. They are notable for their attempts to introduce alt-right politics into mainstream conservatism in the United States. Basically, they are extremists, right? Tristan Tate opens up this message on X, and he takes it and says, if you're going to ask a black man for a handout, don't post about blacks asking for handouts first. And I don't like the Tate brothers, but this is bravo. Give them a round of applause, editor. Now, why am I saying this? Because number one, if you want your group to be successful, and this is what I've seen. I'm living on the continent of Africa now. I lived in Europe. When people want their folks to be successful, the first thing that you're not gonna do is be online all day talking trash behind your white profile when you probably have a black girlfriend or something like that. You don't do that because you are not successful in the economy. You're not bringing any money anywhere. You're not doing anything. People invest into their people to get skills, and then they pull each other up. They develop businesses, they develop economies, and then they put their people into position to acquire these roles later and lead their people up to get more power that way. It's a long, hardcore process, but the Groypers don't do that. There's no Groyper shop that you can go and buy food from, or a Groyper farm, or anything that they sell in the movie industry. They don't have those things. They just talk trash all day, which is crazy because Mying himself gave up a very lucrative opportunity to join some guys who didn't have anything. And if you really wanted to have something, whatever your political view is, you would invest in your people. But that just shows me that you don't like your people when you don't invest in them. Talking trash all day and having an opinion is one thing, but can you invest into your group? That's what the Jews do. That's what some of the Taiwanese and Asians do. Certain blacks do it. We used to do it a lot, not as much as before. We had a history of saying, okay, well, our people are behind in certain aspects. Let's bring our people up. How do we do that? Well, we need resources. We need capital. We need skills. If you look at countries, and I know that we're not a country, but look at Singapore. They didn't sit around and gossip all day. They said, hey, listen, we're gonna make our country open for people to come and develop us. And we're basically gonna learn these skills and then invest into our people by giving them low-cost housing and invest in them so that they can become what they need to become in the future so that Singapore can grow. That's what you do, and now we're all visiting Singapore. Look at Dubai. Dubai was a desert. Everybody's in Dubai now. All the Africans, many Africans, trying to get ahead. You think most of them are going to the States? Some go to the States, but many are going to Saudi Arabia. Many are going to the UAE. Wanna know why? Because their people invest into their communities, into their people. They don't sit around all day talking trash, okay? This is not what they do. They invest into their group. When I lived in Poland, I came across many Belarusian and Ukrainian immigrants. They didn't sit around all day and complaining. They were working hard, starting businesses, trying to take care of their people, investing to their people, and then that's what they did. So where's the Gper money at? Where's the Nick Fuentes fund at? You guys don't want to do the work for your community, it seems. Look at Mying. All you want to do is basically sit online all day and get an X check. You don't want to go out there and develop your community at all. Because if you did, you would do it. Instead of talking trash all day on the internet about other groups. The groups that you're complaining about, invest. And I know people have certain issues with, the LGBTQ, and they have issues with the certain sectors of the Jewish community. But these people are spending money with what they're trying to do. Nobody is stopping you from investing into what you want to see. The problem is you don't want to see it. Those people get mad. You don't invest. You don't get anything at all. I talk about it here on YouTube. YouTubers blow up on the platform. Guy starts with a cell phone. 2 years later, he's still with the same cell phone. Hasn't upgraded any equipment. Then starts complaining when the views go down. Well, what happened? You didn't invest. Want to talk trash but not invest? So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Back at it again. Another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.